Hey guys, Mark from parkflyers.com. So what happens when you take a Traxxas X-Maxx Ultimate and you actually upgrade it in power and handling? Well, you basically get an X-Maxx Platinum. So this is a custom Platinum edition. We put this together for a very special customer. We took our time with this. We played with a lot of different settings, a lot of different pieces, and we think we came up with something very, very special. This thing drives amazing. One of the best driving X-Maxxes that I personally have ever driven. The reason why I took my time with it is I know that I'm going to be doing a lot of future builds. We're getting a lot of requests from all around the world, all around the country. So when I do a new build now, I like to put my time into it. I hone it. I really get it down to being perfect. This way, when I do the next one, or we do builds for customers, we have something that's ready to go. And I have a kind of like a formula sheet. And I think I have a really good formula for this car. Now, the stock motor and speed control for the X-Maxx, we all know is great. There's no cogging. It's got a lot of power. There's nothing really wrong with it. It can overheat. Sometimes if you put aggressive gearing in it, especially with the new Sledgehammer belted tires because they're heavier, we are seeing some people having some overheating issues in extreme hot weather. So anyway, we wanted to put a new motor and speed control in this car and give it a mild power bump. Now, there are people doing videos on YouTube. They throw crazy motors and speed controls at these things like the soda can motors from Castle or, just something that's oversized. We don't believe in that. The car ends up being too heavy. It handles like a brick, and it's really going to wreak havoc on the transmission. It's not something that appeals to most people, and especially not me. So we went with a mild bump with the Hobbywing setup here. It's an Easy Run Max 6 G2. With a 3690 motor. It's a 1250 kV motor, very, very high torque. It runs very cool. It doesn't even need a fan on it. It's the perfect power increase for this car. I feel like if you turn the punch level up to 7 and you just put two 4S batteries in the car, it's like the perfect power for this car. And it's definitely a noticeable improvement over stock. It's not going to overheat, even with the Sledgehammers on it. And we think it drives incredible. This is what you want to put in your car. Now, in the past, I had hesitations on putting any different type of motors in the car just because nobody really made a good gear cover and the gears would be exposed. And then down the line, people made these ugly 3D printed, crappy little gear covers that went on. They don't really fit that well. Well, M2C Racing now makes a nice gear cover. It is 3D printed, but it's done very well. It's a two-piece system. So you can take the top off if you want to see the pinion and spur just for maintenance, or you can remove the whole thing with 2 screws. It's very, very well designed, and it really just makes the whole thing seamless. The motor mount and the ESC mount is also from M2C Racing. It's machined aluminum, very high quality part, done to perfection. I would say the tolerances are perfect. It goes right on top of the chassis with 4 screws. Very easy to install. It doesn't even need instructions. But yeah, really, really beautiful motor and speed control mounted perfectly to the car thanks to M2C Racing. Without this mounting system and gear cover, I really wouldn't push this system, the upgraded motors too much because I just didn't like having that exposed gear in the back. Really didn't sit well with me. But now that they're making really good gear covers, I like pushing this system, and it really is a beautiful increase in power. The car is smooth, powerful, and it feels just right. I wouldn't go any faster than this, and to me, it's just perfection. For the gearing, we went with the hot racing gearing. We actually chalked it up to 1.5 mod, which means the teeth on the gears are bigger. It's going to be more durable. They're machined steel, and not only are the gears going to be more strong and more durable, but they are wider. So it's a wider type of gear, which means there's more contact area between the pinion and the spur. That means that the spur is never going to break. I challenge anybody to break a hot racing machine steel 1.5 mod spur gear and pinion. They're just not going to do it. It's a little bit louder than a regular gear, but it doesn't matter because the car just drives so well. We went with a 35 spur and an 18 pinion. That is the perfect ratio for this car. We played with a couple different ratios just to see where the car seemed really good at, and that is the best for power and performance. It's unbelievable. Again, 35 tooth on the spur, hot racing, and 18 tooth on the pinion, 1.5 mod. Again, a really, really good addition to all this added power. Now, with all that added power, you really don't want to have the stock that little cush piece that goes in the cush drive. It's very flexible. It's like a rubber band. This thing would just last maybe a couple runs and then go to hell. There are people that make different cush drives online. This is one, it's not that great. It's better than the stock one, but it's kind of flimsy. And then you have a really good company that makes the right one here. It's super, super, super stiff. This is never going to break. This is the best one that we've used, and you're not going to have problems with it. So with all this added power, you definitely have to change the cushion, or whatever they call that. It's just that rubber piece that goes inside that cush drive, and that's going to add to the durability, and the longevity of your system is going to depend on that cush piece. So we recommend it highly. I'll put the link below on our website. We have a couple in stock. You can buy it for yours, and it's going to complement it very, very well. The other thing we wanted to do to make the car more reliable is add a spiral cut gears. It's obviously steel front and rear, ring and pinion. We went with GPM. We think they make really good gears. They're very well cut, and anybody knows that with spiral cut gears, you're going to get a lot more durability. They're going to be quieter, and you get better performance. So we went with those. They go right in, and there's no problems. The one thing I have to mention is a lot of my customers will buy those from me, and they'll complain that the differential is not turning freely. And that's because when they reset there's a rubber O-ring that goes on each end of the differential. They're not setting it properly. If you just push it down, sometimes it'll pop up, and they'll just assemble the differential with it not fully set. You have to set your rubber, that rubber O-ring that goes on the where the diff cup comes out of. You have to make sure they're set. Otherwise, just too tight of a tolerance on your differential, and it's not going to spin freely. Just make sure that when you put it in, because the tolerance on the GPM parts are really, really tight, so that O-ring has to go in perfectly. Just set that in and you'll be fine. Now let's talk about the handling. Since we got all that power down and all the durability that goes with that power, that's all set. Now let's talk about the handling. Now the Ultimate, as we know, comes with the titanium nitride shock shafts. They do make a big difference. They are a lot smoother than the regular ones. If you have a regular X-Maxx, they're a really cheap upgrade to go with. They do work. Titanium nitride coated shock shafts are going to always be smoother. For every car Traxxas makes, it is one of their best upgrades for handling, and this comes standard on the Ultimate, so we didn't have to change that. The one thing that we did change are the pistons in the shocks. We went with the M2C Racing piston. It's got better pack. It's basically a Delrin piston with a rubber ring around it. It's going to have better pack. It's going to slow down the rebound a little bit, better for jumping and landing. The customer that's here is going to be driving this like a wild maniac. He's going to be doing really big jumps, and you definitely want that M2C piston in there. That piston is for bashers. Now, because it slows the rebound rate down quite a bit, you're going to want to go from the 50 weight oil. You're going to put 40 in the back and 30 in the front. Trust me, it is the right combo. I played with all different combinations. You want to put 40 in the back and 30 in the front. A little bit lighter because you have, basically a slower rebound rate, and you don't want it to be too slow. So that is what we're going to go with on the shocks. We also, because there's a lot of weight in the rear of the car with that added weight of the motor, the customer is going to be putting 10,000 milliamp battery packs in here. So we actually went with a stiffer spring from Traxxas. This is a 1.45 spring rate. It has a gray coating on it as opposed to this coating here. It's a little bit different coating on it. It looks nicer. It's definitely thicker, and you want a stiffer spring in the back on this, especially because you have that all that added weight from the motor and the batteries that we're going to be putting in this car. This front spring is going to be the same. We're going to just leave that alone. Now, as far as the handling, the biggest upgrade you could do to any X-Maxx is by making the car wider. So you can put on a Traxxas Wide Max kit. It's about $200. It comes with wide arms and all the linkages and all that stuff. Or you can go with the M2C Racing kit that widens the car. Now, the M2C Racing kit widens the car 30 millimeters, where the Traxxas does 60 millimeters. So you might ask, why didn't I go with the wider one? Well, sometimes it could be too wide if you're really into handling. I feel like the car settles too much, and it's like a little bit too much for the chassis. So I think 30 millimeters is perfect. I played with both, and for my taste, I like the wide kit from M2C Racing. They're made out of a very nice aluminum. They're beautifully machined parts. It comes with all the components that you need to put them on the car, and they're extremely reliable, designed very, very well. They do have an upgrade for that wide kit. You can just go straight to a 24 millimeter adapter if you don't want to use the Traxxas style adapter. The 24 millimeter adapters come with the Proline Badlands wheels, and in addition to the ones for the Traxxas. But if you want the 24 millimeter hubs, they do offer an upgrade for the wide kit. It's in addition to the wide kit. It's on their site. You can check it out. Very, very good quality from M2C, and it really does make the car handle better. When you widen a car, the stability, especially a monster truck with this powerful, the stability goes up, turn in, coming out of corners, everything just goes up. It's just more enjoyable to drive. And I think it's one of the most needed upgrades for the X-Maxx or the XRT. Even the XRT, you make it a little bit wider. It's so cool. Now let's talk about another upgrade that's going to help the handling, and that's the Badland wheels and tires. These are a really good tire. Now, this is going to be lighter than the stock sledgehammers. Stock sledgehammers weigh a ton. I don't have the weight figures on me right now, but they weigh a lot more than these. These also have a flat contact patch, so the handling to me with these is night and day. Rotating mass goes down, overall weight and the strain on the speed control all go down. It also looks a little bit better, I think. And again, handling is number one for me. So along with the widening kit from M2C, the Badlands are going to be a welcome upgrade for this car. I think it makes a big difference. And if you want better handling, you're going to have to get Proline Badlands, and there's no question about it. Now for the steering on this car, the stock servo is adequate. It's the 2085 RL. We all know it's a fantastic servo, 650 ounces of torque at 6 volts. However, when you have a company like Perfect Pass making crazy, crazy good servos, and by the way, it's a servo that doesn't need any adapters. It has the ears just like a regular stock X-Maxx servo. They go right in the car. You're basically getting about 900 ounces of torque on 7.4 volts. Now, we didn't go to 8.4 and we didn't leave it at 6. We went right in the middle because that's where I set all my servos. 7.4 volts gets you about 900 ounces of torque, and that's where it's perfect. Very, very quick steering. It centers beautifully, and the reliability is off the charts. Now, we also upgraded the servo horn and arm to a Vidavon. Vidavon has beautiful, makes beautiful parts. They come out of China, and the machine work is flawless. We wanted to complement the car with their servo horn and link. They're machined out of a beautiful aluminum, and they fit well, and it just looks a little better, and it's just probably more reliable than the stock setup, and we really like it. The final upgrade I want to talk about is the GPM, this little rear lock here. Now, on the stock car, it's made out of plastic, and it doesn't lock. This has a locking mechanism so that when you're doing extreme bashing, this thing just locks down, and this is not going to fly off. Sometimes when you hit the ground really hard from a 40-foot jump, the rear of the cover just pops off, and then everybody gets upset because it really interferes with your run, your basic run. And this little latch here from GPM, it only comes in blue. That's good for this customer because it matches the body perfectly, and we really like it a lot, and it adds durability. Anyway, we hope you like this video on the X-Maxx Platinum. If you want a custom job, call Mark at 1-800-470-8932. Reach out to me. We'll put one together for you. If not, we hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.